Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and for today's video on Umamusume, we're going to take a look at the upcoming support cards to be dropping alongside the Valentine's Day banner, and that is going to be the Nishino Flower Wit card, as well as the Sakura Bakushin Guts card. Now, this is another one of those two firsts with two SSRs, and so we'll go ahead and take a look at how their stat stick is, as well as their skills, and whether or not it'll be worth it for you to pull on this banner. The first one we'll take a look at here is going to be Nishino Flower Wit. Right off the bat, we're going to see that she has a unique effect that gives a lot of wit bonus. Now, I found wit to be like the least troublesome stat to get if you have strong wit cards. Right now, that being kind of that fine motion as well as nice nature. And those cards, to me, are already strong enough, and they're going to be much stronger going into Make a New Track. So if you were needing that, you should have already at this point pulled on nice nature, or potentially be saving for fine motion, who's coming up soon, which we'll be discussing for the later banner. You have 30% friendship bonus, initial friendship gauge of 30, wit recovery 5, special priority 50, training effectiveness only 5%, hint levels only 1. We do have some speed bonus, which is always nice to have on your wit cards, and an initial wit of 30. Now, this is at MLB. When you kind of start taking it down, you can see, I would say, Limit Break 3 is really not much different. You lose that initial wit, which, I mean, with her already having a fairly strong wit bonus on their initial wit, probably not as important if you bring this card. So 2 is not too bad. 1, not really losing too much as well. But then you lose that speed bonus. So I would say at a minimum, if you want this card, you want to Limit Break 1. And then we look at the skills here. A lot of greens in here: Hunch and Race Course, Standard, Distance, Firm Conditions, Pace Chaser, Corners, and Updrafters. I mean, it's basically your same stuff you already see with Nishino Flower Power, which has 15% race bonus, which you'll probably be using potentially going into Make a New Track, as well as Nishino Flower Speed. But the big difference on this card is it comes with Determined Descent, which is the gold version of Straight Descent. You probably used this potentially if you used Rice Shower, and now also Fine Motion to have access to that. And as you can see here, I'm looking at it from the Japanese version as well. It is the only support card that currently has access to it. So if you're going to want the skill, this is going to be the only way to get it into the future. And as you know, this is one of those acceleration gambles that you can get on a downhill. So it can be a situationally useful card if the downhill is like right as you're getting that into that acceleration zone. But it's only one of many that are potential gambles on that. And there's not as many tracks that are wanting that. We'll take a look at the second card here now, which is going to be the Sakura Bakushin Guts SSR. So looking right off the bat at this one, we have the unique effect when the bond gauge is 80 or higher. And this card is in a facility different from its type. Gain increased training. So this is actually pretty decent in the fact that you're going to get a lot of training effectiveness for other ones when it's not on the guts. But one of the downsides with this, if you're looking at doing the guts build, one of the strong parts about the guts build and Make a New Track is you can take advantage of one of the items and training, adding a lot of training effectiveness to actually get a very large rainbow hit, especially in the summers, on guts itself, to get a lot of speed, a lot of power, and a lot of guts. So you're really not being able to take advantage of her unique effect in that capacity, because it has to be on different, as well as it also having the requirement to being at 80. But it is a nice little bonus there to do. You do get that training effectiveness there, but you don't have any other training effectiveness within this card anywhere else. Fairly good friendship bonus, has 10%, so she is very usable. Now, I believe, and it is incrementing, so it's 8% at 3, 7% at 2, 6% at 1, 5% at 0 limit break. Then you have hint levels 3. Now, this is Bakushin, so this is going to be specifically for sprint in that aspect. You're not going to really care too much about much in here. And then you have the initial friendship, 25%, mood effect, 30%, guts bonus and initial guts. If you're doing a guts build, I would say those aren't as important. So this card potentially could have some use, even at limit break 0, having at least 5% raise bonus, but you're really going to want to make that up somewhere, whether it's having a fine motion or something. And one of the things that really is going to make this thing stand out, it's got all the Bakushin skills. There's really no, not any difference than like the speed one that you've probably already seen for building your sprint Umas. but it has groundwork. And then she also has a different gold here with the high spirits, which is fairly decent on that. So if you're doing a guts build for the sprint one, which I believe is the last champions meeting and Make a New Track will be sprint, this could be a potentially strong one for front runners, because front runners will actually be a lot stronger going into the next sprint, because it's actually going to the late race will start on a corner, so you have angling and scheming will be good, and all as well as all the other corner ones. And so having groundwork in there, as well as a good position towards the front speed velocity skill as you're approaching late race, can be very, very strong. The nice thing is groundwork's just like Smart Falcon right off the bat in the first hint here, and then you can get high spirits, which it is on a gamble in the last one here. And so I feel like this is a very, very strong card for your sprints, especially that last one to Make a New Track, and then easy access to groundwork, especially if you're doing a guts build on your front runners. Now, while I feel these cards are very good, I feel they are definitely whale-only territory when it comes to pulling for them. This one really is going to only see its strength for most people if you have like very strong guts cards or other ones with race bonus to kind of carry them. Like if I'm wanting to use this to make my front runners, like if I want to do like a pure front runner guts build and I wanted to use this, I would use that alongside like an Ines Fujin as well as a Major Palmer. Those have a ton of front runner skills on them. You have your heal through Ines Fujin, and then you can have this to kind of guarantee your groundwork. Can make them very easy to build, even if they're not naturally having all the skills like Mihono Bourbon Valentine's does. But it's just not worth it in that capacity. Very good borrow one on Bakushin. Now, Nishino Flower is kind of in the same situation. Very situational, especially on her gold. We have a lot better wit options. Fine Motion coming up here soon. Nice Nature we've already had, which is very good for Make a New Track. As well as the Nishino Flower Power card already having 15% race bonus, which is going to be a lot of an option for some people that want to go with a high race bonus build, potentially Make a New Track. And Wit's pretty much one of the easier things to get when you're building your stats, because you don't spend energy to hit Wit, and so if you have very strong Wit cards hitting it all the time, that is not going to make as much of a difference. Now, I do like the speed bonus there, but you just have so many more options. There's going to be a lot of other powerful Wit cards, Mr. CB, for example, for your end closers. You'll have, like, a year from now, Major Romanu, alongside the ones we already have. So I don't think this is going to be worth it to pull at all. These are both very solid cards, though, that you situationally borrow, depending on if you can fit it into your deck for a borrow. Like I said here, we have Fine Motion coming up. If you need that just generic stat stick card that's going to last a lot longer, she's going to be the card to pick up. As well as, you're probably already potentially pulling for Mihono Bourbon Valentine, so she's going to probably eat up some carrots, and it's just not worth it. I would even go for, if you're looking for that Guts card, I'd rather go for Admire Vega SR Guts over the Bakushin. Now, there is the negative that there's no way to guarantee her here, so I'm going to tell people to skip this one as well. But you just have so many more options out there. That's kind of my thoughts on these support cards. I really do like them, and I will potentially be using the Bakushin Guts card myself in my borrows, but that's because I'm already sitting really good on an MLB Ines Fujin. I have Major Palmer is Limit Break 3. I have Nice Nature, MLB. Fine Motion will be MLB. Of course, Kita-san Black is MLB. Maybe I'll have NTR MLB, depending on how my Guts Admire Vega pulls go. And so this will open up my options to borrow this one, because I'm not going to pull on it, even though I've spent quite a bit of money to pull on what I would consider very good cards. But yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on these upcoming support cards. Let me know in the comments whether or not you're gonna be planning on pulling for them. Well, that's it for now. And if you like my content, if you go like, comment, subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.